Greetings, everyone. Hello, I see we have about 13 people here at this time. I'm going to get started. Maybe we can start with a bit of a welcome. I'd like to know who we have with us today. I'll start with an introduction of myself. My name is Nikki Baker. I am a member of the Broward County Club and also a member of the Southeast District Tech Team. Today, we are going to share Zoom 2.0 techniques, which is basically means you have some familiarity with Zoom, you've been using it, but there are things that you want to know. So I'm going to show several techniques today and give you a chance to try them out. I'll demonstrate. If you want to try it, just let me know. And I've already opened the capability for you to share your screen so we can see what you're doing. If you want to try it out in a more hands-on way, we will share the recorded video from today, edited. So if you want to practice with it, that will be available. And I'll share that onto the district Facebook as well as through our member database, so that we will have that on hand as a training that's available for anyone that just needs more time to practice it. So I'm going to start off with some of the easier things, but I'd like to hear from who we have in the room. So you're welcome to either put it in the chat or raise your hand and I'll recognize you and give you a moment to tell us who you are. Okay, I see a hand, Gwen Wilson Banks.
I am Gwen Wilson Banks. I am with the Charlotte Club. I'm also the district director of membership, and I am excited to advance my learning on Zoom and just to be in the room with such brilliant women. So good evening all, and I am excited to see what I'm going to learn. Thank you for putting on this training.
Okay, well, I see in the chat we have Marcia Britton from the Charlotte Club, and the next hand I see is Annie Reed. Hello, Annie Reed.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
I'm Annie. I'm the financial secretary for the Southeast District. And Nikki, thank you so much for doing this training. We had spoke about it earlier, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this for us.
Okay.
I belong to the Chester Club in South Carolina, excuse me.
Okay, well, we have North Carolina and South Carolina representing today. Anybody else? We got Linda Brown from the Jasper Club president, and Winnie Braley of the Charlotte Club. Anyone else wants to say hello before we get started?
Hello.
Hello.
This is Dr. Burwell from the Charlotte Club.
Hello, Dr. Burwell.
Hi.
Good evening, Nikki. This is Michelle Foster. I am president of the Charlotte Club and also a member of the Southeast District Tech Team.
Okay. Hey.
Hey.
Well, welcome. Anybody else? Okay.
Hi, this is Brenda Tharp, president of the Greater Columbus, Georgia Club.
Oh, hello, Brenda Tharp.
Hello.
Okay, well, you guys see me on two screens right now. This is one thing that helps when you are going to be doing sharing, which is one of the things that I'm going to start with.
Nikki, this is Governor Johnson.
Oh,
hello, Governor Burwell and members of all of the various clubs. I want to thank my board for being on tonight in support of your program. And I just can't wait to learn some more about Zoom. We've been Zooming for 3 years, so now it's time to learn about Zoom. I really do appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I miss anyone else? Okay. All right, so I'm going to share my screen over here so we can follow along. So I'm sharing the presentation you see here from a PDF. So one thing that people ask about a lot is how do you share without the interface showing? Now, on some devices, some programs, you don't have that option. The screen you saw when you were waiting, I was sharing a PNG, which is a image file, but this is well, this is the PNG. So when you are when you're sharing a PNG, I don't know if you can see my options here that just drop down. You see preview, file, edit, view. And if you go down to enter full screen, you'll see that that whole interface just disappeared. What I mean by interface is the frame that's normally around an image. So you can only do this with certain kinds of files. You can't do it if you share your presentation from a PDF. So I can kind of show you that again. So this is just an image file, which is just like if you have a photo. I have it on my desktop. Normally when I'm sharing images, I like to have them on my desktop because when you're sharing them on Zoom, you need to be able to quickly access where it is and when you tell the device to share. So if you have a photo that anybody wants to try this out, I'm going to ask you to put it on your desktop and I'll let you try it. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to open that photo where you can see it. And then I'm going to instruct you to go to the share option. I've already set it up so any of us can share at any time. And what you're going to do is once you have that image open and you share it, you're going to go over here to where it says view at the top. And you're going to come down here to where it says enter full screen. And you'll see that interface go away. So it's a little less distracting. It's a little more attractive if you're only, in this case, presenting one frame. And this is kind of good at the beginning of a program, for example, where there's not a lot going on. You don't want people to be bored while they're kind of there waiting. You'll notice I also was sharing music at the same time. So when you have, we'll get to that. I'll tell you more about how to share the music. Does anybody want to try that out? Was that a yes? At the TV. If not, then I'll go on and we'll go into some more activities. And if you have questions along the way, please put them in the chat. We'll have more time for practice we can do at the end. If there's something else that comes up or you only want to go back to, I'll give you a chance to share. Does anybody even know how to start sharing right now? If you wanted to share something, does anybody have a problem or fear of sharing it all together?
Well, hey, Nikki, I need to raise my hand.
You don't have to. Let's go.
Okay.
I do see
Quick
another
question.
hand, Linda Brown, after Gwen. Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Quick question. When you're doing screen share, is it best to have everything that you know that you want to screen share open even before you start Zoom, as opposed to, searching for it while you're on Zoom and then opening it?
I would say yes. It would be probably best to have a folder. If you know you have multiple files that you're going to share, it would be best to have a folder on your desktop. And I would even name those folders like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the order that I know I'm going to share them. And then have those files open and you could arrange them in order so you know which is which, because if you have too many open at once, it can be confusing and then you end up sharing the wrong image. You're like, oh, sorry. And so you remove that room for error. It is a good idea to have them open even before you start your Zoom. But you want, I'm sorry, my son is dropping computers downstairs. You want to have them in order so you know which is first, which is second, which is third. So just quickly, if you did want to share right now, there's a share icon in the middle of your screen. My screen is green. It says share screen and there's an arrow next to it. That is where you select the options. And let me see if I can, you can see it on my screen. No, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. I have these files open, as you said, to share. What you should be looking at when you do get ready to share. Linda Brown, did you have a question while I'm opening this image?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I do. Nikki, what is a PNG file?
A PNG is a kind of image file, like most people are familiar with the JPEG. I can look up and see what it's an acronym for something. But it is it's a kind of image file that it looks high resolution on the screen. It's not necessarily meant for printing, but it does allow you to have a clear background. And sometimes people want to know, why do I have this white square around my logo? You can have a transparent background in a PNG. You can't have that in a JPEG. So for certain kinds of applications, like sometimes when I print a t-shirt, they'll ask for the logo as a PNG. Portable network graphic is what Julia just shared with us. It stands for portable network graphic. So means it's easy to share from one kind of file to another. Did we have any other questions? PNG, Marcia shared as well, portable network graphic, a type of image file. Okay, art, research and development. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna share now. This is sharing. And you can actually open multiple files to share at the same time. So some of you have gone to share an item. If you hold down the shift and select more than one item when you share, you can actually have more than one window open at the same time to share.
So is that the central, the control? Is that what you're saying? Hold down to have more than one image at the same time?
You hold down shift. I'll let you try it out if you like. But so I have two. So I went to share, like I said, the green share space in the middle of the screen. And when you click that, you're going to see some different options. And in the first option, if you click the item you want to share and hold down shift and click the other item, both will open at the same time. So I clicked on one image file and then I opened another and I clicked on the other. You have to hold down shift when you select the multiple files that you want to share. So these are where you select who can share. So a lot of times people start a meeting and they go, I don't have the access to share. And someone is the host and they may not know how to give them access. So one easy way is you're going to click on this arrow that's pointing up. This gives you the options for the share screen. And you're going to see this window. And it's probably going to be checked host only. And that's why your guests can't share. So if you click these options where it says all participants, your participants will be able to interrupt your share, or when you stop sharing, they'll be able to share at that time. Okay. So would anybody like to try a dual share?
Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go on.
May I ask you something before you go on?
Yes, ma'am.
I usually open the files and have them, and they show when I press the share button.
Mhm,
And then I choose the one I want to open.
mhm.
It's better to do the folder on the desktop.
I think so, because unless you're only sharing one file, I mean, okay. But if you know you're going to be sharing more than one, it just speeds up the process of locating them. And then when you're finished your presentation, you can put them back in the folders where you want to keep them, whether that's your documents or you might have a folder just for that project.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there any other question?
Yeah, this is Brenda. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. when I clicked the green arrow, it says this will stop others' screen sharing. Do you want to continue?
Yes. That's
So-
only if you're sure you should be sharing, so that's fine.
Okay. Well, I wanted to try, just, I don't try much, but I'll try.
Okay, go for it.
So I need to click yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So do
So
you,
you said I need to have it open on my desktop.
well, it doesn't have to be on your desktop, but you need to have the file open that you want to share. I just recommended that it be on your desktop for the purpose of finding them quickly.
Okay.
Julia says benefits of desktop folders, they're easy to get to and the files are already downloaded. So the way I learned why it's called a desktop and why I recommend what I do, and I learned this years ago. At home, you have a file cabinet, you have files in there. But when you're working on something, you have your desk. Now, some people have messy desks with lots of files all over it. And people that might be more orderly will use their desk just to work on one project at a time. So think of your computer desktop screen the same way. If you're working on something, it's useful to have it right there, all of what you're working on in front of you. So if you're working on a project like the year-end report, for example, and you need to have your club history and you need to have pictures and you need to have this, you can pull all of those folders on your desktop so it's easily accessible. And then when you're done with them, go put them back in their storage place when you're done.
Okay. So I do have something here. So I just click on it
Yep.
and then it says share. Oh, okay.
Ta-da!
All right.
Okay, so what you're sharing is a Microsoft Word document.
Yes.
Let's go to view. Can you click on view in the top menu is down on the right towards help? I just want to see what your view options are.
At the top of your screen.
At
Go
the
to
top of, in
file,
that black box.
no file, home, insert, draw.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
View.
Yes. So we can see that you have, I wanted to just see if Word had a full screen mode. It doesn't. So most of the time, if you're sharing a Word document, you're basically sharing for the content of it. It's not so much a presentation kind of software.
Mhm.
But PowerPoint does have a full screen mode. So most of the time when we're doing presentations, we use PowerPoint, but that's pretty good. And so when you're done, you would just click stop share. Or if you had a next document that you wanted to do, you can just go to new share. You don't have to stop. So you can just go back to share and you can tell it you want to do a new share. If there was another document you wanted to show immediately after. But if not, you would just go to stop share.
Okay, now where is stop share?
Okay, so at the top of your screen, or I can't see it right now.
Yeah, I know.
And you go back to share.
Okay, it says new share.
Okay, so go to the top of your screen and there should be an icon up there. If you go to the top, something will drop down. It's kind of hidden. Okay, I'll stop your share and I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're sharing something, which I'm sharing a PDF, piece of a PDF here. To stop sharing, at the top of your screen, it be in green. It'll say you are sharing.
Uh-huh.
And then right next to it, there's a red button that says stop share. So you want to try that again, or would somebody else like to try? I can take a picture of that and I'll show you what it looks like.
You just stopped me.
Huh? What'd you say, Linda Brown?
I was sharing and you just stopped me.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Try again. Good, you want to share it?
Can you see it? Oh, here we go. Why am I not sharing? Oh,
Okay, it's opening now. Okay, so I see that you have a Word document as well.
yes. It's a brag document. I got a new member today
Okay,
and I sent this to her.
so are you comfortable with sharing? Do you see where you would stop sharing?
Yes,
Okay, so you have like a green bar at the top and something red next to it that says stop share.
right.
Okay. And your documents are functional when you share. So anything that you do, even though you're sharing it on Zoom, will change just as you're normally using it not on Zoom. Do we have any questions or anybody else want to try before we move on? Anybody want to try to dual share at the same time, or what are Zoom pros at? Let's see if we can do a dual share. Nobody brave enough. Okay, that's fine.
Would
All
you
right.
say hold down something to do a share?
You hold down the shift. So you would click your first file like you just did the Word document.
Mhm.
You would hold the shift key down, keep your finger on it, and click the second file that you'd like to share. They both have to be open at the same time for this to work.
Is it shift? Because mine's not doing it.
So this would be useful in the case of, again, if you're on a meeting and you're trying to compare a document, maybe an older version with the newer version, or maybe you have an Excel document and a Word document and you're trying to transfer information during a meeting and everybody needs to see what you're doing. That might be one application where that might be useful. So you're saying that's not working for you, Linda Brown?
I clicked on one, hold
Mm-hmm,
down the shift key,
mm-hmm,
and then click on the other.
mm-hmm.
Let me see what happens.
Okay, something's opening now. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
if you have them both open, you're gonna have to minimize one or move it to the left and take the other one and move it to the right.
Oh, now you're complicating things. How do I minimize it?
Okay, so you can click in the corner of the screen, not in the actual screen, at any of the corners. Higher up, the larger, yes, back over there, the outermost corner. And you're
Okay.
gonna kind of click it and drag it in.
Oh, okay. Look at us. Okay.
I don't see anything moving yet, but try to grab your other document. Okay, I see that working. So now
Yeah.
you're gonna try to drag it in one of the sides, make it about half that size, like onto the side, on the side of the,
Okay.
pull it in a little bit. Okay, I see that one. I don't see the second one. So the second one, see if you can pull it to the right a bit.
Okay.
You see both on your screen, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we don't see both on Zoom yet. So basically what you have to do for everyone else is you will have to minimize each screen so that they're side by side.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll practice. I won't hold your meeting up. But I
okay,
do have I have the idea.
okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna try to move on to some other items. I do want, before we stop, to discuss, reports. But with recording, a lot of times people ask me, what's the difference between recording in the cloud versus your device? Why does it matter? And then also we have issues where some of our clouds are getting full and we are filling up with documents, and also how to share an event as Zoom after you record it. So does anybody have problems with recording or have specific questions before I go into how you set the settings to record?
Nikki, I have problems with all of that. I have another organization that, I'll set up my computer to bring in some out-of-town members. And so it is recorded, so the secretary has it. And I do have that problem of where to save it at, and then how to retrieve it, and then how to forward it. Because a lot of times when I send her the recording, she's like, I can't open it. I can't open it. So yeah, I definitely need this information.
Okay, so you can record two ways. You can set up for it to record when you schedule the meeting. So are you actually scheduling your meetings, or are you just responsible for the recordings?
Sometimes I do the scheduling and sometimes I just do the recording. Initially I was scheduling and starting the meetings as well as the recordings.
Okay, so if everyone can see my screen here, so this is my Zoom account. When you come into your personal account and you see the options to set up your meetings, you're going to come here to meetings. I don't know if anyone has a problem with scheduling meetings, but this is where you schedule them. So you're going to look over here in the left-hand column. You're going to look at meetings. If you have any existing meetings, they'll be under this tab that say upcoming. If you have previous meetings, it will show on your previous. This is my personal, so I don't have a lot here. And if you want to schedule a meeting, that option is up here. So you click schedule. You're going to go through the form. You're going to give your meeting a name. You're going to decide the date, the time, and make sure when you decide the date and the time, you select the time zone that you want it to be most prominent. On your device still, it's going to show you the time zone. So a lot of times I'll schedule, I'm in Central Time Zone. I'll schedule them as an Eastern time, but it's still going to show up on my calendar as Central Time. And you decide, is it going to be a recurring meeting? And this will come up, and this is important later when we talk about reports. Do you want registration to be required? If registration is required, a person will not be able to log on unless they register first. So if you know you have participants that have difficulty retrieving their login, you may not want to require registration. But at the same time, registration adds another level of safety, because you do have sometimes people coming into meetings that should not be in a particular meeting. So you'll have to decide that based on how private you need your meeting to be. Then here it's just saying, do you want it to generate your meeting ID personally? Generate a new meeting ID. So in the case with like our Southeast District meetings, or if you know it's a recurring meeting, you can always have the same meeting number. So if you have a meeting that's always the same, your standard group meeting ID may be fine. And then you have a security passcode, and I'm going to go down here to the options. In the options, this is where we're going to click automatically record meeting. So that would mean if I'm the host, I don't have to be on there to make the meeting start to record. So that was some challenges we had last year as we're still working through Zoom. Does somebody need to log on and make sure that we're recording? Well, if you select it here in the options, automatically record meeting, then you don't need that. But you will have to decide what we were just talking about. Do you want it to record on the local computer? That would mean this device that I set this meeting up on, that's where it's going to record. and it's going to save to your downloads folder in a folder called Zoom, and it will be there by the date. And I'll show you an example of it. Or will it record in the cloud? If you record it on the local computer, you won't be able to retrieve that recording from Zoom. So you will have to have access to the computer that scheduled it if you record it on your local computer. If you record it in the cloud, this is where you be able to share the link with others. So if you record it to your own computer, then it's in a situation where it's a whole video where you download it, you can transfer it, and on your own upload it to maybe a Google Drive, but you won't be able to just share it, share that link and passcode. So, and then do you need to approve, or do you want to mute participants upon entry? That might be important if you know it's a meeting where people are coming on with a lot of noise. It could be distracting during a meeting. And or you could also decide, do you want to allow participants to join at any time? With certain meetings, you may not want people joining at any time. That could also serve as a distraction. And based on what kind of meeting it is, you can decide that. In most of our cases, people join at any time they want. So once you have that set up, you're going to save it. And I also recommend that you see these options. It's going to tell you the name of the meeting, the time, the meeting number, the passcode, and this registration link. You can copy that, but I like to immediately save it to my Google Calendar. So what that does is I will have it on my personal calendar, and I can just click the link when I'm ready to join it. And if I wanted to invite someone else, I could invite them from Google. And it'll also let me know that it won't conflict with another meeting. So if I do this with all of my meetings, I can make sure if someone says, hey, I got a Zoom meeting at that time, I could quickly look at my phone or any device and says, I'm sorry, no, I already have another meeting at that time. And it'll just go directly if you have a Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, it also works with Outlook. So everything that we just set up is already there, and all I have to click is save. And then it's right there on my calendar for right here, Monday, May 8th. So as you see, I got a lot of other Zoom meetings going on and bills too. So we don't want those. So let's come back over here. So when we want to share the recordings, if we save them to the cloud, you would come here to where it says recordings. So I have a couple of recordings here. So if I wanted to share this, or if you wanted to share this with someone else, and you come here and you click share. So like as you said, if you click this that says copy, what it's going to do is going to make a link that will give this person, and they will need this passcode. If they don't have this passcode, they won't be able to get it, but you have to check these options. So one says who can view. Everyone with the link can view. That means they don't need a passcode. Or if you change that, signed in users to my account, or nobody else can view. So these options are really important. So you might have shared it, but if you didn't select the correct option, they might not be able to view it. So, and if they're not familiar with Zoom, they might not realize that there is a passcode. So I'm going to show you what the passcode looks like. There also could be an expiration date on the share link. So you want to check for that. Viewers need to register to watch, and then there's the passcode. So let's just look at what I'm going to copy what it says that is shareable here, and I'm going to put it in the chat, and I'll see if you are able to grab that link. Okay, chat. So I hope everyone can see in the chat right there. There's a link, and there's the passcode. So we click on that link. Did you see? I don't know if you saw it, but let's see if this opens.
So is this passcode computer generated?
Yes.
Okay, so when you hit copy or share, and it came up with this information, it's also going to give you that passcode, and you have to hit show passcode so that you can pass that along. Okay.
When
Okay.
I click link, it automatically copied both. But if you just wanted just the passcode, let me go back. Sorry. Okay, so let's go back here to share. This is a shareable link. So they won't be able to just click the link. As soon as you click copy, it copies all of that. You don't have to do both. Now, for whatever reason, if you need to see the passcode, if someone's calling you and saying, hey, my passcode is not working, that's when you would click that so you can see it. But you don't need to copy this and that. You just need to click copy. And what I copied is what it just went into the chat. So,
Oh, okay.
okay. So when I'm showing you on this other screen, when you click that link, when the person clicks that link, they're going to come to a window that's like this. They won't have to type that link in. They'll click the link and then they'll type in that passcode or copy and paste it. When they type it in, I'm copying and pasting it. Copy, and I'm going over here and I'm pasting it. And then I'm going to go to watch recording. When they go to the recording, they need to understand they can view it here. They can view it. This is me talking to my pastor, but it's not going to be, but they would need to download it if they need to access the file.
Wait, you said they have to download it?
If they want to save it, right? They would need to download it. So one thing is, so like with the Southeast District, our box was filling up with recordings. And there'll come a time when we'll either have to buy more storage or remove those files. There's been cases where we've sent clubs a video of their meeting and they didn't save it. So it can't, as the district, we can't really hold all of that storage. So
But if you,
Mhm.
but if you're if you're opening save, you're pulling it up from the cloud and you're saving it, isn't that the same as if you were to record it straight to your computer?
Not you, because this is with someone you're sharing it with. So if I,
Okay.
as the host, recorded it and it's in my cloud, but I'm sharing it with someone else, I mean, they can watch it here in Zoom. But if they need to access it and you have, like I said, I'm just trying to advise you, what if they want that video a year from now? And it's time for you to do your year-end report and your account can't hold it anymore. It would be useful that somebody is archiving your videos somewhere and storing them somewhere not in Zoom, but as a backup somewhere else. Because there will come a time where you just won't have enough space.
Okay, so you could possibly save it then to a hard drive, an external hard drive, and
Right.
just call it Zooms.
You can save it to your computer, your external hard drive, or you can make a Google Drive. It's a variety of things you can do.
Okay, so when you're saving it to your computer, you have the option of either doing it audio or just just audio or audio and picture.
Right, you have the options of downloading the text files, the video files, or just the audio files. So you want to look out for if it says MP4, MP3, or text. The text is the chat. So in this case, these files, my files, you can see here, it's got an M4A, that's the audio. You have an MP4, that's a video. Just for example, this didn't have a chat, but the MP4 is 1.3 gigabytes. Just to say, that's really large. In the audio, you can see is much smaller. It's 91.5 megabytes. Does anybody?
Hey,
Mhm.
this is Judy. Nikki, if you don't mind me adding something. When you're going to store to the cloud, also bear in mind, just like if you store it on the hard drive, you can't hit a limit where it may be a space limit, right? Like your Google Drive. I forgot how many they allow you to have with Google, but one day you'll get a email saying that your drive is full. So I do recommend, if you're Google, I'm using Google as an example, is $2 a month. If you ever get that, or like someone said, they created a new email and to get more to get more drive. So just bear in mind that just because you're saving it on a drive in the cloud, don't think that you don't hit a space limit, because you can get it at that point. So this is just Judy, just some, I wanted to share that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was trying to show. You might not have reached that point yet, but Zoom will actually shut down your recording when you reach that point. So you don't want to panic and have to decide what you're keeping and not keeping at that point. So it will happen. So these are like Southeast District recordings. We have recordings that go back right now all the way to from January 2023, because we had to clear out files. So these are ones that were recorded to the cloud. Now, if you click here where it says local recordings, these are recordings that would have been recorded to your device, but it won't actually be a file here. It'll be a long link name that'll direct you to somewhere in that computer. But I didn't record any local ones from this computer that I'm on. So that's why you see nothing here. I know that's a lot of information. Any other questions about recording? Does anybody want to just try the controls before we go on? Okay. Questions? So we did a little bit on the sharing. There's several different things you can share, which include music, video, and presentations. So does anybody have questions or would like to know how you share music? So like in the beginning, we had a screen playing and we had some music playing. That's
and looking at the African hospitality.
That's the video sound. So does anybody have an issue with sharing audio or would like to know how?
Yeah, I'd like to know about the music. Again, the other organization I'm at, I'm kind of like their tech person. And a lot of times I'm trying to share music. And sometimes on the other end, they say they can't hear it. So I just want to make sure I'm got my settings correct.
Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen again. Sometimes we see on a lot of videos now, people are sharing videos from YouTube, right? And so I'm gonna share a YouTube video. I'm gonna show it with sound, with the video, and we'll show it without the video and just the sound. So one moment. So this is, I've had this playing since the beginning of our meeting. So to share your screen, I'm gonna stop for a second. You're gonna go to where we say share screen, just like you would share your presentation. But instead of clicking on basic or leaving it at the default that says basic, there's 3 tabs at the top. It says basic, advanced, and files. You're gonna click advanced. Advanced will allow you to select computer audio, which is on my screen, the second option. You're going to click computer audio and make sure at the bottom left-hand corner that share sound option is checked off. Yes. With the share audio, you don't need, with the computer audio, you don't need that. You'll need that if it's a video. So I'm going to go back to basic. So I'm going to share the video. I'm going to share my YouTube screen and make sure that share audio is clicked. I'll repeat that again. So
where'd you get that shirt?
The volume on your computer will control it. So often when I start one. So another thing is a lot of the time you see people sharing a video and you see all this YouTube and stuff. So kind of like I showed you with the picture, if you don't want all of that to show, you're going to expand your video to full screen. And you could either further, when you're going to come out of it, you could exit the full screen or just stop sharing. Everything that you see on that interface now is a part of the video. That's not the training. But this is not a very exciting video. So this is just an instrumental. So this is something I would just use for sound. So if it was a video you wanted to see, you would run it this way through the basic. Video that you just want to hear. Again, you can try this while I'm trying it, and if you would like to try it when I'm done, you can try again. So you would go to share. You have to, just like with the pictures, you have to have the file already open that you're sharing the sound from. So if it's YouTube, it would be YouTube with your volume all the way down. And then instead of going to where it says basic, you're going to go to advanced. And when you go to advanced, you're going to select computer audio. And then just click share. So right now I'm sharing, but my volume is down. I'm going to turn the volume up. So that's the extent of sharing your audio. And when you're done, so that it's smooth, it's kind of good to put your volume back off down before you hit stop share, so it's not an abrupt stop like that. But sometimes you have to stop abruptly. But if you can taper down, it kind of sounds a little bit better. Does anybody want to try that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I want to try that. So go to my audio.
Do you have a file open right now?
Oh, I don't. I'm sorry. I sure
In
don't.
another window, I would recommend go to YouTube and you can pick jazz instrumental. You know, what think about what kind of music you might want for your meeting. Do you like jazz? Do you like gospel? For my youth clubs, I do hip hop instrumental. So I know they recognize the beat, but it's no words, so it's not offensive to anybody. It's kind of danceable. It's kind of fun. So I like to do hip hop instrumentals if possible. When you get
Okay.
that, I want you to turn your volume all the way down.
On my computer.
On your computer. And then you go ahead and hit play on it.
Okay, wait. Say it again.
When you find something, just go ahead and hit play. Then you're going to go back to Zoom and go to share screen. And since your volume is down, I might not hear you, but if you can hear me, when you go to share screen, you're going to select the middle tab at the top that says advanced.
Okay. Okay, hold on. So I'm going to turn my volume down.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go to the music. Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay, so if you've turned your volume down, it's playing. You're going to go to advanced. We go to share screen first.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. And you can control the volume with your computer volume. You could also control it on YouTube.
Oh, you can hear it.
Oh, we can hear it.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so try tapering down the volume slowly, and then after you taper down the volume, you can do the stop share.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you on the share. So that's a bit with video, a little bit with audio. Quickly, I'm going to show you a presentation, and then we're going to move on to reports and wrap it up. So similarly, I have a video here quickly. We're going to do You want to make sure when you're sharing a video or a slideshow that has sound, when you go to basic, make sure in the bottom left-hand corner that share sound is selected. I'm going to take a picture of that so you'll see what I mean. So this is really important because oftentimes if you haven't done this, it's going to be a major hiccup and then you'll be kind of trying to get things right during your meeting. And, you know, it can be distracting or frustrating to you or to other people. So after you click that share, you're going to see your options that you can click. So this is the video that I already had open. It's open in QuickTime Player. You need to make sure that this button is selected. If it is not selected, the people on your Zoom won't hear anything and you'll be saying, can y'all hear that? And they'll be saying, no, we don't hear that. Okay. So that's just something, you know, you'll know if they hear it. But you might not, you'll hear it. They will not hear it. Okay. So I'm going to go to the actual video. So you see the video here. I made sure to select my sound and I'm going to hit play. So you can see, did I hit my sound? This doesn't have sound. Okay, but this just has video. So that's you enter full screen. So when you enter full screen, it will take that interface away. So if nothing else that you take away today, one of the questions that people always ask is, how do I get that frame off of something? And I will say about 90% of the applications that you're going to use, that's how you're going to take that frame away. And what I mean by frame is this, where you see the title of the file and sometimes some other controls. So the way you remove that is you're going to go to either, where is that? On view, enter full screen. Okay. So I'm going to go to my last share, which is a PowerPoint presentation, which is what most of us use the most. And this one was on sexual harassment. So don't harass anybody sexually. Okay, so you see all of our slides, you see the entire interface, but now it's time for you to give a presentation, and people don't need to know what your next slide is because you want them to enjoy the presentation as you are ready to present it. So you prepare this before you actually give it. We know to actually do the presentation, you will go into your slideshow view, right? And you will most likely play it from the start. But so that your guests don't see you do all of that on the screen, there is an approach to doing it before they can see all of that. So that's what I want to try to share with you now, how to have it open immediately to the presentation without them seeing you select to the slideshow. Okay. So if I have a willing participant, I can talk you through it. And I would like if someone could, if you have a PowerPoint file, it's going to be hard to get this without seeing it, but I'll explain one time first. So I have my PowerPoint document open. Okay. I'm going to go to share my screen. I see my PowerPoint image in the Finder, and I'm going to click it one time, but I'm not going to click to share it yet. I'm just going to select it one time, but not click share. And that's pretty much the key. At that point, I'm going to click back on the screen with my PowerPoint, and I'm going to immediately go to play from start. When I click play from start, let me see if I can share this from my computer. take off my blur. Okay, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to now click it. So I'm going to go through that again, but on your screen now, all you should see is the actual interface, the actual slideshow. Okay, so I'm going to kind of show the steps I did again. I'm going to stop share. Okay. Oh, you really cannot see that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is crazy. Okay, so I'm going to just have to explain again. Would anybody like to try that?
I have a PowerPoint.
Okay, so if you have a PowerPoint open, I want you to kind of listen to the steps. So you see your various slides on the screen. I want you to go into Zoom and click share screen.
Okay,
Do you see the image of your PowerPoint there?
yes,
Right here. Click it one time. Don't double click it. Just click it one time.
okay.
Don't click share. Now I want you to go back to your PowerPoint.
Wait, don't click share.
Don't click share.
Okay, go back to the PowerPoint.
Go back to PowerPoint.
Okay,
And I want you to go to the tab that says slideshow
okay.
and click play from start.
Uh,
Did you do that?
I think I did.
Okay, so now I want you to click back on the window, the Zoom window.
On the Zoom window. On the PowerPoint that I'm sharing.
Not on PowerPoint. I want you to look for the Zoom window where you selected to share.
Okay, I think I see it.
Do you see your PowerPoint image that you mentioned before? Can you click share now? Okay, so very good. So yours is open in the slideshow view and we don't see all of your interface. The only thing is, I think we should have I want you to select full screen, but at least we don't see your other slides right now.
Oh.
So that's pretty good. Can you go to next on your slideshow so we can see the next slide? You can hit the
I
right or
don't
left
know.
button. It's a right or left
Just a
button.
minute.
Yeah, there you go. So this is how you would advance. Can you hit escape? So this is what I mean by the interface. This is where you see all of the slides. This is what you really don't want your audience to see. So that's basically the way you open your slideshow before you share it. And remove all of the need for your audience to see what's coming up in the entire PowerPoint interface. You want to try it again, or would somebody else like to try that?
Somebody else can try.
Okay. Any questions so far?
That's fine.
I see, okay. Okay. If not, I'm going to go on to reports. Any final questions about sharing presentations, music, or video? Okay. All right, so especially in our organization, we have year-end reports, and our year-end reports, and when we're meeting in Zoom, we don't have sign-in sheets like we used to. Now we have registration and we have participant reports. So I have a participant report here from a meeting that we did Saturday. Is it this one? And I've saved it as a PDF. This is for another class we had, the Canva Level Up. I'm going to share my screen now. It's in a PDF. So when we do our year-end report, we would turn this in with our other documentation. So you can produce this from Zoom and then you don't have to try to figure out, well, who was there. A part of our year-end report, it asks us, how do I get this thing on here? It asks us how long was each participant in there. Sometimes I'll create just another column because it'll ask how many were club members, how many were outside guests, how many were youth. But this is generally, proof of each person that logged in and the number of minutes. So you can give more accurate reports as to what was the total number of time and what the impact was. So if most people stayed, 100 minutes, you could even take an average, however you want to report, but you're getting real information as to, were people engaged? Well, if most people stayed the full amount of time, that tells me. I also have a registration report and I'll show you how to pull both. But for this particular meeting, I think we had 28 people register and only 19 showed up. So it tells me that the 19 that showed up were engaged, but it also tells me that maybe it wasn't a top priority to all the people who registered. So I'm gonna show you how to how to produce that report. So I'm gonna share over here. Does anybody have problems with producing reports, or have you tried and weren't really sure what to do?
I've never tried to produce a report. I'd like to know how.
Okay. Who is that?
Annie
Annie?
Reed. Mhm.
Okay, let me share my screen. So when you're in your basic Zoom account, again, back over here on this left column, if you scroll down, you see here reports. Okay, so you have usage reports and you have meeting reports. We're going to come to meeting reports. You see here it says view registration reports and poll reports. That's all. That's the only kind. So if your meeting didn't have registration, this is not the one you want to select. Okay, so it's showing me that there were no meetings. This is for the Southeast District that had registration reports. So let's go back to usage reports. So in the usage, it's going to be based on the date range. So this is only going back 1 month. So let's see if we go back a little bit more. And we search. No, nothing giving me. Let's see. Two, one. Okay, that's only one. It's only give me one. Okay, so here's some meetings that came up in this date range. So you would know whenever you're meeting. So even if you needed to go back and get a report from a past meeting, you don't usually have a problem with these storing like you do video. It'll tell you here how many meetings. So if you just wanted to get an idea of all of them, you can export that information. So here you see this particular meeting only had 6 attendees. This one had 20. So let's look at this one that had 20. This was the Southeast District. Can't see what it is, but I'm going to click on the number. You can tell what's clickable because it's in blue. So find the meeting, which report you want to print. If you click export CVS file here, it's not going to click on any particular meeting. It's going to give you all of these meetings. So if you're looking for a particular meeting, that's not what you want to click. You want to go to the line where you see the meeting and you're sure that's your meeting, and you're going to click on that number. When you click on that number, you're going to see, this is just for you to view. Lachelle Foster, Shirley Douglas, these people were all in this meeting. But it's still not helpful to me yet because I need to get it out. So that's when we would export it. But another thing is somebody got logged out and logged back in. it would count them twice. So I don't see anyone here like that right now. But to reduce that, you would click here where it says show unique users. So that means if one person did come in more than once, this is gonna compile their information too. And it will actually add up their total number of hours. So if they were in one time for 30 minutes and another time for 10 minutes, it will reflect here total duration in minutes. So this option is better if you're trying to produce this for a report, and it'll give you less work to do later. And you'll click this where it says export meeting data. It's a good idea because it will tell you the total number of participants, the time the meeting started, the time the meeting ended, and who was the host. So if you don't do that, when you download, you'll just get the users. So now I'm going to export it and show you what the report looks like. So it exports it usually as a CSV, which means, I know what that acronym means, comma separated variables, which is readable from in any kind of document like Excel that knows it wants a break wherever that comma is. So I don't want to use it that way, but what that is a easy to use file for a lot of different kinds of programs. So I'm going to open that up now and share it with you. I want to open it.
It's also can be opened in Google Sheets as well.
Yeah, it can open in many kinds of documents so mine by default opens in numbers. So I'll share that. I just don't like it in that file. I like to use it in Excel. So whatever your default reader is, it's going to show it in that. So this is that report that I just generated. I downloaded it. Make sure you know where your files are downloading to. And so it's giving me all the information data, the meeting information at the top, the name, that was a president's meeting. And it tells the start time, and it's going to be the time zone that whoever scheduled it in. So if they scheduled it Eastern time, that would be Eastern time. So if you're in Central Time, you might need to update that in your document for your purposes if necessary. But it will tell you, did the person give recording consent? Were they a guest? The only person that says no to is the host. So you see the host had 62 minutes, and that was the Southeast District. So I like to use mine in Excel because there might be some, what I mean by cleaning up of it, that you want to do. So I'm going to reopen that in Excel to show you what I mean by cleaning it up. Any questions while I'm opening it up? Okay. So this is the same report in Excel, which I prefer. I'm going to make it a little larger so you can see better. So if you open your file in Excel and you're going to see these number signs, that means your column is not wide enough to see everything. So you could either double click on it and it'll reveal what's there. And it might be harder to see, but the reason I like it in Excel is because I could easily more manipulate it. So I usually like to filter the title line, which is I'll click there and go over here to filter and just click filter. So what that'll do is let me resort how I want. So as soon as I put that filter on, I can come over here and sort by the username. And now I have it in alphabetical order, which for me, when I'm submitting a report, I'd rather it be in alphabetical order. This version does not have their email addresses on it. And I don't know why the email addresses are not on here. So only the Southeast District is on there. But I mean, it's a report that's produced, and you could export this as a PDF. And just make sure that it's all on your screen. So me exporting it is not showing on the Zoom screen. So certain windows won't share when you're sharing on Zoom. Stage. And stop share. Any questions about that? I'm gonna open up the final PDF that I just saved, and does anybody want to try that in their own Zoom account? Does anybody have meetings that they've had recently in their own Zoom account? So this is that same Excel report that I just saved as a PDF. So I would save the PDF or use the PDF as my final document. So if I was submitting it, this like with YPR, and I want to make sure there's no changes to what I sent in. I like to, I mean, it can be changed, but it's harder to change. Any questions? Anything you want to go back to?
Nikki, I have a question. These reports can be generated whether you have a registration or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Registration just tells you who registered. It doesn't tell you who actually participated.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Is there anything that we didn't go over that you'd like to ask about? Okay, let me see, there was something. Question?
No, I don't have any other questions. I'm going to practice the reporting segment of it. I had not even tried to do that, but I will be practicing.
Okay. I wanted to share,
Nikki, can I add one more thing? And I'm sorry, I'm always, I apologize. But Club Sisters, I hope you know that you all have access to Microsoft Excel because you all have access to Office 365. So I hope you guys, access that. If you say, well, this didn't open up with Excel because I don't have it, but you do have access. I just wanted to give you all that as a friendly reminder as well.
okay. Okay, this is something I wanted to share that was fun to do, which is you can put makeup on yourself. We're gonna wrap up. Did anybody have questions about Zoom backgrounds? Nope, everybody got that?
The version I have won't allow me, I guess the level I have won't allow me to do background.
Okay.
Because I just have the $20 a month one or $17 a month one or something.
Okay, I do know that there are can be issues depending on your computer operating system or the version of Zoom that you have. So I'm gonna share this really quick. This is just a little fun thing. So Linda Brown, you gotta upgrade your Zoom.
Ma'am.
All right. So the last little piece I'm gonna share is, some days we gotta get on a meeting. We don't have time for makeup, hair, that kind of thing. You don't want to overdo it, but Zoom has some little fun things that you can do to fix yourself up if you don't have time. So I'm going to share the screenshot I just took. So if you go into your video options, you are able to come in here to where it says your background effects. So you would upload your virtual backgrounds here. But here where it says video filters, there's some options here that you can select that will allow you to come here where it says studio effects, and you can do funny things. You can fix up your makeup. You can put on lipstick and it will just stick to you. So how do they do it? I'm not really sure, but it works. So let's see if I can do one real quick. So if you go to where it says stop video or where you share your video and you go to choose your virtual background, and you can go to where it says studio effects down at the bottom. It's in blue on my computer, blue link. I'm gonna take this background. So here, I'm gonna select some eyebrows. So now I got some big eyebrows, but I don't really like big eyebrows. So, but you know, if you want some eyebrows, you can change your lipstick colors. You can change how dark it is, how light it is.
Where did you click to get to that, Nikki?
It's called Studio Effects. So I don't know if it's on your version, but you're gonna go to where you go to your video background.
No.
Okay, let's start again. So if you go to your, do you see have a video camera? Do you see mute and next to it a video camera?
Yes.
So if you click that little arrow next to the video camera, you should see a list of options. And
Oh.
one of them is choose your virtual background.
Okay.
But you're not going to choose your background. Instead, you're going to go down to the bottom right on my screen. It says Studio Effects. And there's eyebrows. You can change the color of the eyebrows. Not that you would want to do that, but it's just some kind of fun stuff. Some of it is funny. You can have a beard, which I already have a mustache. Don't need more of that. Lipstick. And you could also decide how bright or how dark you want it to be.
Oh,
With
okay.
opacity.
Hmm.
Anybody want to try that for fun?
Is that only on some, depending on which version you have of it? Is
What
it
do you-
disabled on some of it?
What do you see? Did you
I
click?
just, I clicked it and it showed that it was there, but it had none in the box.
Okay, that could be what it is. And so also from time to time, you want to make sure you refresh your Zoom. Get your updates. Because sometimes you might have the right version. You might not have updated your Zoom in some time.
Okay, thank you.
Because I did once upon a time, it wasn't on mine. And one day I was just playing around. I'm like, what is this? And I just thought it was fun. See my eyebrows. But I've seen sometimes people's eyebrows are like moving and they're not moving. And so you don't want. But I want to thank everybody for joining today. I know this has been a long session. Marcia says apply Studio Effects to sign into the Zoom desktop client. Click your profile picture and then click Settings. Click the Background and Filters tab. Click Studio Effects in the lower right-hand corner. Choose your desired settings from the eyebrows, mustache, beard, lip color, and sections. And also in your settings, you can change lighting. Not in this area, but those can be changed. So I will save this video and we can use this time if anybody else would like to share tips, if they have something that works for them. I'll make sure to share the chat and the report with all the participating clubs that helped promote for today. Any hands, any final things in the chat?
Excellent job. Excellent job.
This is Hazel Gett. My computer crashed on me this afternoon, so I wasn't able to get on the video, but I'm on my phone. But I just want to say it was a good lesson. I'll put it like that. I really enjoyed it, and there was a lot to write down and try to keep up with. But thank you, Nikki, and hello, Dr. Brown, and hello, Judy, and hello, Anna Reed, and not everybody else that I've heard, but I don't know you.
Hi, Hazel.
Hi.
Okay, Julia has her hand raised.
I was going to say also what I do, if you have a camera or the computer where you can close off your camera access, you can put a background up. So if you're on the computer now, you're able to see when I'm talking, it has my Bitmoji. My camera is on, but it's closed to where you can't currently see me. So it'll appear that I have my camera on and it looks like, I'm engaged and I'm concentrating on what we're doing. I made sure I have my background that's related to BPW.
So how do we do that now?
So we can create it in Canva. I guess we can do another class. but you can create it in Canva or PowerPoint and save it as a PNG or as a picture. And it works the same way, like setting up a background. And so I upload it like I'm setting up my background. And if you have the type of computer where you can close the actual lens, you can close the lens, but make sure where your video is on. So that's how you're able to see my Bitmoji where it looks like I'm waving and it's showing that my camera is on, but you can't physically see me.
So if I do it as a background and cover up my camera, that will work?
Yes, ma'am.
If I put tape on my camera and I have this as a background, let me see. So I'm covering up my background right now. And I'm going to change my background. Choose virtual background. I'm going to pick that one.
And it shows.
Oh, wonderful. So if you want something engaging other than just a blank screen or your name,
yes,
you can put a Band-Aid or something over your camera and just let the background show.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you learn something new every day.
We'll be calling you all to teach us how to do that.
Well,
No
see, I just took
problem.
my finger off the camera now, so I'm there. So what we will do
Oh,
is
that's cool.
we'll get to practice because I have the participant list. So we'll send a link out for this recording and everybody will get some practice doing their eyebrows and going back and trying some of this stuff. And then if you want, just respond back. Maybe we'll do another 2.0 or maybe we're ready to go to 3.0. So I want to say thank you to the tech team. We all used our normal meeting time because we thought our whole organization can use it. And, we all get frustrated sometimes and a meeting is not the best time to work some of this stuff out. So I want to thank all of our tech team and all of the clubs that came on today. Oh, everybody's got it back. Look at Gwen. Carlita's got her picture up.
I love it. Thank you for that tip.
Yeah. I see Ombudsman Johnson, or is that Bernadine is here. I see Arnitha. I'm not sure who CMF is.
Good job, Nikki.
Thank you for joining us. CMF, I don't know who CMF is. Hey, Bernadine. Thank you, Marcia. Marcia gave a lot of great information along with Julia. Thank you, President Foster, Governor Johnson, Liz Watts, hello. Governor Burwell, thank you for participating and keeping us on our toes. And you can hanging right in there, got the screen in the background. Annie Reed got her induction screen. So that was good. All right, well, thank you, everybody. And if you have any additional questions or thoughts, you definitely can. I'll put in the chat, send them to the southeast.nanbpwc@gmail, and we can talk about maybe storage next time. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody want to share their music to go out? Let me see if I got some. Yeah, mine is still on.
Good to see everyone. Have a good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks, Nikki.
All right, take care.
Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
No, Jalea, I always wanted to know how those little cartoon
Great
characters kept
job,
popping up
Nikki.
everywhere. So thanks for
Thank
letting
you,
us
Miss
know.
Brown. I did
No
see.
problem.
I did see. I saw you. You had the induction. I wanted to know how to do that too. I didn't know.
I
That's
made
one of my
some
favorite
eyebrows and stuff.
Huh?
I made me some eyebrows and lipstick and stuff, but it's gone.
We all need so.
See you later.
All right. I'll take these eyebrows off before I forget.